Hi friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Neva, this is Reading with Neva, and today we're going to start our RomComAthon vlog, which started today, which is Sunday. So it did start today. So I'm going to talk about really quick the 4 books that I plan on reading in the next week for RomComAthon. So if you don't know what RomComAthon is, this is a readathon that is hosted by my darling friend Aoife from Pretty Purple Polka Dots. I believe she started this in 2022. 2022, not 2002, 2022. And RomComAthon really set my contemporary romance era on to its track. Okay, I did not read contemporary romance before Aoife started doing RomComAthon. It wasn't a thing that I liked. I was not a fan of like fluffy romance. I preferred dark romance. So thank you, Aoife. Also, we love this. So for December of 2024, Aoife is doing holiday RomComAthon, where you get to create your perfect holiday rom-com. So you have to pick 2. You can use 1 book for every prompt if you can find a book that fits each of the prompts, or you can do 4 different books, 3 different books, 2 different books, whatever you want to do. So I do have 4 distinct books that I am picking, or that I'm going to try to read over the next like week of RomComAthon. So you need 2 love interests, a man and a woman, 2 women, 2 men, whatever you want. But you need 2 love interests, you need a main trope, and you need a setting. So if you have a book that fits all 4 of those things, then you only need to read 1 book. I have picked 4. So I have picked my love interests will be from My December Darling and It's Motherfucking Christmas. I hope Aoife doesn't yell at me when I do this, but I actually like the female characters in both of these books. And I know that Hallmark doesn't really do, which is what this is based off of, is like Hallmark movies. They don't really do like LGBTQ couples, but I'm pansexual, so I'm doing what I want. So if Aoife sees this and yells at me, it's fine, but this is what I'm doing. So I actually like both of the female people in these books. I did do like a try a chapter type thing with each of these books just on my own. I didn't film it, but I did go ahead and read a chapter of each of these books to make sure that they fit what I needed them to fit. So we have My December Darling by Lauren Asher, and we have It's Motherfucking Christmas by Alina Jacobs. So My December Darling is like a 250-page novella that takes place, it's set in the same town or same place as the Boardwalk Billionaires series. So that's like Love Unwritten and Love Redesigned, which I just said in the wrong order, but Love Redesigned and Love Unwritten. This book is set in that same town. And then we have It's Motherfucking Christmas, which is a hockey romance where our main female character's grandma is trying to set her up with the man. That's all I really know, but I did read like the first chapter. I actually have read more of My December Darling. I'm about 50% through that one at this point, since RomComAthon has started, and I'm going to be finishing that on audio. But I did read a chapter of It's Motherfucking Christmas, and I absolutely love our female in that. So my love interests are both female. I don't know if this is like allowed, but I'm doing it. The next one I have is for my main trope, which I picked the book He Sees You When You're Sleeping by Alta Hensley. This is a dark Christmas like stalker romance. So the trope that I'm using is that it is a stalker romance. We love a stalker romance, okay? So this is a pretty like dark Christmas movie, Christmas rom-com. But listen, we were blessed with Butcher and Blackbird, which is dark romance. It's a dark rom-com, so you can do it, okay? Thank you. Also, this is my movie, so I can do what I want. And then for the setting, I have a small town, which I'm reading How My Neighbor Stole Christmas for this one. I did watch my friend Brittany's wrap up for November, and she read this book, and it's supposed to take place in a small town. So, and it's like, I know that there's some like candy cane smut thing going on, but it's also like inspired by How the Grinch Stole Christmas. So those are my 4 books. I hold up 8, but 4 books that I will be reading. So like I said, I am about 50 to 52% through My December Darling. I am enjoying this. I did grab the audio off Hoopla because I was able to find it. I don't have audio for any of the rest of these. I'm going to look for them, but I feel like they're probably Audible exclusive and I have no credits. If I love these books, I will grab the audios for like next year. But then we have It's Motherfucking Christmas, which, how cute is this cover? I can't wait to get a color Kindle, but how cute is this cover? So I did read the first chapter in this. I'm like 1% in, okay? I'm 3% in. I'm on chapter 2. This apparently is dual POV. So is My December Darling. My December Darling is dual POV. We get his and her point of view, and It's Motherfucking Christmas, it appears to be the same. I know nothing about this book other than the first chapter that I read. I love the grandma in this. I also love our female main character. My December Darling, it's very like Grey's Anatomy vibes. Our main female character is an OBGYN doctor, and our main male character, I believe, is a surgeon. Like, he gives very like McDreamy, McSteamy vibes. Honestly, he reminds me more of Mark than he does of Derek, if you've ever seen Grey's Anatomy. But I'm really enjoying it. In my opinion, Lauren Asher can do no wrong, so I don't see why this wouldn't be like a 5-star book for me. It's taken me a little bit to really read this, just because I've been reading other things. Aoife and I thought we were going to do Goodreads Choice Awards, and then we were like, just kidding, no we're not. So I was focusing on that. But I'm actually about to go to bed, but I wanted to start this vlog, and I realized that I have been reading all day for RomComAthon, and I never started a vlog. So 52% through My December Darling. I plan on finishing this tomorrow on my sprints. I do have RomComAthon sprints tomorrow, which is going to be so fun. And then I plan on picking up It's Motherfucking Christmas. So I will check in the morning before we go on sprints, and we will talk about what we're doing. The audiobook for My December Darling is really good if you want to listen to that. And yeah, so that's all that I have. I'm gonna go to bed now, and I will see everyone in the morning. But happy RomComAthon. By the time you see this vlog, the RomComAthon will be over, obviously. But happy RomComAthon, and I hope that so many people participated in this. I absolutely love RomComAthon. I will always participate because it's so fun. So go ahead and let me know down below if you participated, what you're reading, all of that. But I'm gonna go because I need a shower and go to bed for sprints in the morning, and I will come back tomorrow to check in. Hello friends, good morning. I have coffee, I have my book, but I want to come in really quick and talk about My Darling December. I did finish My Darling December, and I'm giving it 4.5 stars. I really did appreciate that this book ended the way that it did. There is an epilogue. It's a Lauren Asher book, so I always expect there to be an epilogue. I'm sorry, my camera was at a weird angle. I always expect there to be an epilogue, but a lot of her books end with an epilogue where people are getting married, they're having children, which a lot of times fits the narrative of her books. I think the only one I can think of where that's not kind of how it ends, at least of the ones that I have completed, are was Love Redesigned. Love Redesigned. And that is because there is talk about like fertility issues in that book. And so even though it's like a thing that they are wanting, it's also a thing that they're not sure they can achieve, if that makes sense. Because like Love Unwritten, there's already a child in that book since it's a single dad nanny romance. And then the first Dreamlands Billionaires book, I'm pretty sure ends with them having marriage and children. I think she's pregnant in the epilogue. And then the second one, the goal for the end is that he has, in order to get his inheritance, he has to get married and have an heir. So like it's part of like the storyline. So I did appreciate that. But because it is a novella, I'll buy a longer novella than what I usually read. It was about 250 pages. I still always want more from novellas. Like, I hope that she does something with these characters and develops these characters into full-length novels. But otherwise, I feel like it was truly a wonderful story. I really did enjoy it. So we're now moving on to It's Another Fucking Christmas. I am about 6 chapters into this, 11% in, and I'm really enjoying this. This is a very fast-paced hockey, like Christmas hockey rom-com. So we have our 2 main characters. So we have Ryder, who is the male main character. He is a hockey player. And then we have Dakota, who is our female main character. And Dakota doesn't want anything to do with Ryder. Her grandma like stalks Ryder.
Game win streak going.
Also, I apologize for my brother. Anyways, okay, so Dakota's grandma kind of stalks Ryder. She leaves him some like weird notes that kind of freak him out, and she's trying to set up Dakota with Ryder. However, Dakota is a fan of a rival hockey team and really doesn't want anything to do with Ryder. So then her brother comes to her and something happens. He needs her help, and one of the ways that he thinks that she can help him is by distracting Ryder by dating him, like making him fall in love with her and then breaking his heart. So that's kind of where we are at this point. That's all I can really say about this book without like spoiling anything. So I'm going to read some of this. I am on sprints this morning for RomComAthon, which is so fun. And I will be back probably when I hit like 50%, because I feel like this is such a fast-paced book that there's only 3 hours left of the book. So either I'll finish it or I'll come back when I actually have like a 50% update. Hello friends, so I'm here to update this vlog. So I have actually read 2 books and I don't think I updated on the second one. I know I updated on the first one, which was My Darling December, but I don't think I updated on the second one, which is It's Another Fucking Christmas. So I'm giving this one 5 stars. It is a Christmas hockey romance, and it's my second love interest. So that is what we read. So I have gotten 2 books done this week for RomComAthon. I don't know that I will actually finish the other 2 books before the end of the weekend, because I believe RomComAthon ends on Sunday. Let me double check so I'm not wrong. No, it ends on Friday. So I don't think I will get both of these other 2 books read, but I'm currently working on, here we go. I'm currently working on He Sees You When You're Sleeping. This is like a stalker romance, Christmas themed. So I'm really proud of myself for even getting the first 2 done, but we'll see how far I get into He Sees You When You're Sleeping tomorrow. But I don't have audio for this one or for How My Neighbor Stole Christmas. So even if I don't get these done by the end of RomComAthon, I will be reading them in another vlog if I don't finish them. So yes, that is what we're working on right now. He Sees You When You're Sleeping. I'm not very far into this one. I don't even know where my, oh, it's right here in front of me. My Kindle. I just started this one, but I did have to go to the doctor this morning due to, I have a muscle spasm, so I had to go get that checked out. So I'm only like 2% into this book. I'm like on chapter 1, I think, and it says I have around 5 hours left. of this book. So we'll see if I can finish this tomorrow, because if I can, then I will start How Many Ever Stole Christmas, but I probably will not finish them. So I will be back when I have another update on He Sees You When You're Sleeping. I don't really have a lot to say about it because I'm not very far. So, all right, goodbye. Hello, friends. I am just here. Wow, the lighting in here is terrible. I'm so sorry. But I am just here to close out this vlog. So we have completed RomComAthon. We did complete it on Friday. This is Monday now. I did stop reading for RomComAthon on Friday. I just didn't have a chance to come and close out the video. So I finished 2 of the 4 books that I wanted to read, and then I started a 3rd and DNF'd the 4th. So let's talk about it. So I did finish My December Darling by Lauren Asher. I gave this book 4.5 stars. This was really cute. It was a novella. I did read this book about half with my eyes, like on my Kindle, and half with the audiobook. I was able to find the audiobook through Hoopla. I really did like this book. I'm not a huge novella reader, so it didn't get 5 stars for me, simply because I wanted more story. That happens to me a lot with novellas. However, I really do love Lauren Asher's characters, and I love her stories, and I love her writing. So I will literally read anything Lauren Asher puts out, regardless of what it is. But I did give this one 4.5 stars. I really did like this one. It definitely gives like Grey's Anatomy vibes. Like it definitely does. Since we have, I believe she is a traveling NICU nurse or OBGYN, something like that. But she's a traveling, the main character, our main female character is a traveling nurse. I remember no names. I'm so sorry. Next year I will work on writing my reviews ahead of time so that I know who I'm talking about, okay? And this year it just wasn't the vibe. And then our main male character is a surgeon, so it definitely gives very like, it's very like, what am I trying to say? It's very Grey's Anatomy coded. I felt more like our main male character, he gave me more like Mark or McSteamy vibes than he did Derek / McDreamy vibes, but people could disagree with me on that. I am also partial to Mark, so there's that. The second book that so this was for my first love interest, and then I also finished It's Motherfucking Christmas by Alina Jacobs. I had never read Alina Jacobs before, so she was a new to me author. I will be reading her backlist at some point. She writes a lot of Christmas books. I like went on Amazon and I looked her up to see what else she's written and if any of the rest of them were on Kindle Unlimited. It appears that her entire backlist is on Kindle Unlimited, and a lot of what she writes are Christmas books, which is awesome. So those I may or may not be reading some more of her books in an upcoming vlog. It's going to depend on what the wheel says, but I do have some saved to my Kindle, so even if I don't get to them this year, they will stay there until next year, because I really did enjoy this book. So this book is a hockey romance. It's Motherfucking Christmas, but this is a hockey romance, and I loved this book. So the grandma in this book is like stalking this hot, well-known NHL player, and she wants him to date her granddaughter. That's basically what's happening. However, he is like very cinnamon roll, very much like doesn't want to date around. He is dating for the sole purpose of marriage and like having a family. I absolutely loved his character. And then we have our female main character who's super sassy, and she's kind of, and like she doesn't want to date this NHL player because he is on an opposing team to the team that she actually roots for. So it's very fun. The banter was top tier for me, and I gave this one 5 stars. It wasn't quite a 6-star. I will say that I am very jaded when it comes to my hockey romance, so I tend to compare every hockey romance I ever read to Icebreaker and the Jacksonville Rays series. So unfortunately, because of that, this one just didn't quite hit the right way for it to be a 6-star, but it was definitely a solid 5. Like I would definitely reread this one, and I do plan on buying both of these books at some point to have them on my shelf. So in no way were they misses. Let's now talk about my main trope book, which was a Christmas thriller stalker romance, and this was called He Sees You When You're Sleeping by Alta Hensley. I may come back at some point and try this book again. I was not a fan. I was not a fan of this. I ended up DNFing it about 20% in because I didn't really understand what was happening, and I didn't understand why things were happening. So in this, we have a female main character she is a jewelry influencer, and I was a little confused by this because I actually thought at first that she was supposed to kind of be like an OF kind of influencer, and she's not. She's a jewelry influencer, but she is being stalked by she's being stalked by someone. So it's between this like hot firefighter who helps her help her neighbor after the neighbor has a fall trying to shovel his walk, and this fan that watches her like on the internet. And I did not understand really what was going on. I DNF'd at 20%. I may try this one again at some point. I really wanted to like this one. It was a miss for me. So I ended up DNFing this, and I'm not counting it like towards any goals or anything like that. I didn't even count it as like a book I DNF'd, I don't think, because I didn't feel like I understood enough about it to care about it, and I don't tend to count my DNFs unless I care about the book, if that makes sense. And then the last one that I started but I did not finish was For Setting, and this was a book with a small town, and that was How My Neighbor Stole Christmas. I am still working on this book. You will see my final thoughts of this one in another vlog coming soon, because it will be the first book in the next vlog that I'm making. But I am loving this book. I am about 25 or 30% into this book at this point. When RomComAthon ended, I was only about 10 or 15% in, but I am absolutely in this book. I'm eating it up. It is so good. So this is a kind of like a spicy, like adult version of How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and the audiobook is top tier. I've also read a good chunk of this with my eyes because I have been places like seeing Wicked. I saw Wicked during the time that I started this book, so I was reading it like at the theater while we were waiting for the movie to start. I read a lot in the car, but I don't tend to do audiobooks outside of the house unless I'm working outside of the house. So if I take my work station to like the library or a coffee shop, I will listen to audiobooks then. But if we're like running errands or something, I tend to read with my eyes. I always have my Kindle with me. So just because I am a person who, if I'm going to listen to an audiobook, I need both headphones in and I need to be able to concentrate because I speed my audiobooks up. But this book is top tier. The narrator in this book breaks that fourth wall, which I like that in a book if you can do it correctly, and Megan Quinn definitely wrote it correctly. I'm hearing a lot of discourse about this book, about people not liking it. I think that it's because it's not written like a Hallmark movie. Hear me out. A lot of Christmas romances, in my opinion, are written like Hallmark movies. Now, I didn't think that of December Darling or It's Mother Pucking Christmas. Lauren Asher has a very distinctive writing style, so I didn't expect her book to read like a Hallmark movie. And It's Mother Pucking Christmas didn't really read like a Hallmark movie either. These are the only two really like Christmas books that I have read so far this year, so that's why I'm using them as my examples. However, Tis the Damn, what is it called? Tis the Damn Season. That is written like a Hallmark movie. It is very Legally, that book is very Legally Blonde coded, but it reads like a Legally Blonde version of a Hallmark movie. It's very like Christmassy and kind of cheesy and like whatever. I don't feel like How My Neighbor Stole Christmas is written like that. I feel like Megan Quinn really dove into like her love, or maybe our love, I don't know, of How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and really just embodied that into an adult spicy romance. I wouldn't necessarily call this a smut book. I'm like 20% in and there's not a lot of spice in it so far. That doesn't mean that it won't get spicier, but I personally am of the opinion that there's a difference between spice and smut. And just because there's sex in a book doesn't make it a smut book. It can, but it does make it spicy, if that makes sense. So I am absolutely loving this book. I think it's so funny. I definitely would say, if you are an audiobook listener, that the audiobook is definitely worth it. You can only get it through Audible, which I know is controversial and some people don't like to support Audible. I'm also reading it on Kindle Unlimited. I will personally never cancel my Kindle Unlimited just because of all of the indie authors that are on it. But I don't mind grabbing an audiobook from Audible that I can't get anywhere else, because usually that means that it's an indie or self-pubbed author. So I didn't mind grabbing this one off of Audible. I'm absolutely loving it. But if you just want to read it physically, you can buy like the paperback version, but it's also on Kindle Unlimited, and it's honestly so funny. I will be buying this book physically for sure, just because I absolutely love it. Like, I just think it's so good. So that's really all the thoughts that I have on that, but I wanted to come in and close this out. You will get like final thoughts after I finish How My Neighbor Stole Christmas in the next vlog. But thank you to Aoife again for hosting Holiday RomComAthon. I said this, I think, at the beginning of the vlog, but I'll say it again. RomComAthon, originally when it first started, I think in 2022, 2023, something like that. I think it was Valentine's Day week of 2023 that RomComAthon started, if I'm correct. Aoife can correct me in the comments, or Brittany can correct me in the comments. But RomComAthon is how I really got into like my rom-com, like fluffy contemporary romance era. Before that, I was very much in a dark romance era. I'm always in a dark romance era, but I was very much like against anything but dark romance, and I'm so grateful for it. So let me know down below if you participated in Holiday RomComAthon, and if you did, let me know what books you read for what prompts to create your own holiday rom-com movie. And if you don't really have anything to say to me down below, go ahead and leave me some kind of a Christmas emoji, Christmas tree, candy cane, Santa Claus, a snowman, a snowflake, whatever says Christmas to you, and I will see y'all in the next one. Love y'all so much, and goodbye.